Self-love.
yourself.
Self-love.
Do you
Yeah.
believe in self-love?
Yes, you can't love anybody else unless you love yourself. So if you don't love you, then everyone around you is going to have it rough. If I may call it that. Yeah.
So why did they call you? Why did they call you Bekunda? Did they explain to you why you were called Bekunda?
I have no idea, but my
Never even bothered to
dad.
ask.
No, I think my dad passed on before I could ask him, and I've never really asked my mom. Yeah, so it is what it is. But everyone says I love myself so
Oh
much.
yeah.
So
Good to see you.
same
You look
here.
good. I keep seeing you on social media.
With your family.
That's interesting.
Good. Why are you saying interesting?
Well, they say we cannot see ourselves unless we look in a mirror. So
No, but honestly, honest compliment.
thank you very much. Yeah.
But then I was also saying that he looks good, and then they told me that that I should have seen him like 10 years
10
back.
years.
Oh yeah, when you were small and petite. Hey!
Yes, I think. And I had some muscles.
Oh really?
Yes.
You
At
used
least
to work out.
I was in shape. Yes.
Thank you for letting, for sharing your experience and touching souls and reaching out. Me, how I got to know was when you shared a story about Chameleon's son. Then I said, we're getting into Christmas
Yes.
and there is too much drinking.
Yeah.
There's going to be too much drinking, too much freedom.
They've already started.
Oh
Already
yes.
Yes.
They're
started.
making. Yeah, I've started.
Yes.
True.
So I said, it's high time for us to also get to call Mami Bekunda to tell us about his journey
Yeah.
and how you managed to do what to get over to get over that addiction. Yes.
Because many people relapse.
Yes.
The time we had the cute guy, I've seen him on your page as well.
Yeah,
He
he's
told
a
us
friend
how
of mine.
he relapsed, and he told us for him his addiction was due to someone else. So I don't know how you started. Was it a love situation?
Like they say,
Family
men have side.
background? I don't know. Some people
Okay.
say, I hear alcohol runs in the family. Our grandmother, they used to they used to drink. So all of us, it's in the family. I'm like, really? So I don't know how true that is.
Okay.
Yes.
I started drinking.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very simple answer, by the way. But
Really?
I'll give you the story.
Okay.
I started drinking because friends of mine tempted me to.
So
We
it
were
was
in
just
school, and guy said, because when I was in senior one, I was those discussants on the blackboard, physics, chemistry, mathematics. And in fact, a friend of mine told me that I always had complex explanations instead of the simple ones.
the simple ones, yeah.
But yeah, I had come from Kabale Preparatory School. I was the best in my district in that year in P7. There were only 2 of us who got 4 and went to St. Mary's College Kisubi.
Yes.
Now, when I was in my senior one, a lot of the time I used to lecture the few who had started smoking and
Those
drinking.
things. You would
You shouldn't
lecture
be, you
them.
shouldn't be doing this. Don't waste your parents' money. You know, the little that I knew about it.
Yeah.
So when I started in senior 2, one of the guys, they were the cool guys basically. He says, "Bill, let's go. You come and see what we do, so that you stop giving us your lectures." Somehow I felt good because other guys joined him and said, Bill, we go.
Yeah.
And these are the cool guys. You know, me, I was from Kabale.
You know, I know this.
I was a mathematics guy. These guys were, you know, the happeners. So I said, I somehow felt good that I was being encouraged, that they wanted me to be with them.
And it was that.
So I went
it was
with
the
them.
age.
That is how it started.
Eh?
There was no stress. I came from a home where my father was a doctor, my mother was a banker. My mother reached the highest level of the non-political office in the Bank of Uganda, which was the board secretary. So I can proudly say that my family name has been on the Ugandan currency.
Yes.
And you know, there was no stress. There was no.
So you started from a C.
My fees were always paid on time, and I was a bright student. a little bit stubborn, but not.
Basically, it was like influence.
Yes. So when I took that sip, if I'm to explain to you how we went in fear, we sat down, then we used to drink communally at the time. The glass goes around. There's this one with the holding the bottle, the one in charge.
Yes.
So he keeps pouring, it goes around. So the first round went, I ignored it. Second round, but by the third round, I was seeing these guys are all
Happy.
they're happy. They have lost their fear. They are talking about the holidays, and I was the only one. So I said, let me drink now, and then I will explain to them how this is foolishness. Let me drink now and this fear goes.
Yes.
So I took a sip. It smelled bad, it tasted bad, it made me cough, it burnt me. But interestingly, before it even reached,
Yes.
I was already feeling good. So I'm like, hey,
Already feeling good.
I took the next sip, I
Yes.
felt better, you know? And then the rest is history. That night I went back and I became a hero. Because I remember when I went back, I walked straight into the HSC wing. And guys were like, that was undoable. We had this thing of no mixing levels.
Yes, no makes it.
And I was speaking a lot,
Oh.
and yet I was the quiet, discussant.
Yes.
So the next morning, I woke up knowing that I'm in a lot of trouble. But instead, I was hailed like a hero.
Wow.
So,
Then they said,
Man,
more.
this is the life.
"Hey, you are the quiet guy, man. We used to call them what? Guys who read who book guys.
The book wizards, like,
Yes.
yeah.
I've forgotten. There's a word we used to call you what? We used to call it napping. I've forgotten. Yes.
That one. So they are like amused that I had so much KB,
Yes.
that I was so interactive, I was funny. And so I can assure you that from that day, I was obsessed with alcohol.
Day one.
I
So you
was
went-
I was looking forward to the next time I could drink. Yeah.
So you didn't
Just
try
like
to
that.
talk to, because you said you wanted to test and then,
Talk to them and tell
out
them.
of it. Like,
I
please,
forgot everything. Everything went out of the window. Now I was like, this is what I have been missing.
This is the life.
Yes.
So you said it was stupidity to drink, and you used to tell people to stop
To stop,
drinking.
yes.
Had you seen somebody drinking silly, or what could have been a cause?
Of course, I have some uncles, and I used to look at them and say, really?
Or even villagers.
Yes, and it is the majority of young people under the age of 12 or 13 will always say, I can never drink, I can never smoke. It doesn't make sense to them,
Yeah. True,
okay?
true, true.
Yes.
I had seen my grandfather. I don't want to say he was a mess because he was my grandfather, but his life was messed up because of alcohol. I would see him in the village, they would make fun of him, he would drink a lot, he's singing, he's smoking his pipe, tobacco, I don't know, all those things.
So you were the one of the best students at school. Did that continue?
In my
or you-
senior one, yes, my worst position was a third. I was beating all these Kampala boys I had seen in the newspaper.
So when you started drinking, I think you became number one.
I jumped to 25.
Ate?
Yes, but
Now
from
you
there I
were
reached
confident.
around 40. Well, in SMAC being the 40th is not bad. It's like amongst the cream.
Yes.
But the question that my father asked me is, but what is number 3 doing in the 40s?
That was a good one.
And so after that, I started thinking that this man hated me. And there's one thing he always told me that, you see, others might be able to drink, but for you, you can't. You had better learn that now and don't try to do it.
Okay.
I didn't understand him. Okay, he was a doctor, he was a pediatrician, he understood these things of addiction, but at that time there was not much research that done about alcoholism, and therefore all these things that we know today were not there. So I think he thought I was too young to understand the depth of the information he would give me.
So you would just because there was no alcohol at home, not so.
No, there was no alcohol. He used not to drink.
So how did you get it when you get back home?
My friend, you'd go
Drink?
You'd go out, drink, come back, hide.
S2.
Yes.
So now, did you complete?
Yes, I did. God blessed me somehow, intellectually.
Give me a scenario. Your turning point. I've jumped too much.
No, it is okay to jump because there's a lot of bad things that happened in between. Of course, I wasn't performing.
Like, what age was that? Like the estimation?
The age was 14 to 15. At 14.
At 14.
How do you know, like when you're trying to steal alcohol? I think that's why you got drunk.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
That's what I was told. But at least you rather drink it in public and then you sip slowly, but you don't get drunk. But when you start sneaking out to drink,
you see,
the
thing is this: there are many misconceptions about alcohol. People don't even know what it is. Do you know what alcohol is?
I just know it's just a drink.
And
just a drink that makes people
High.
High.
Get some vibe.
Okay.
I don't even know the meaning of alcohol.
Alcohol
It's
is
a beverage.
alcohol is what is in the drink. It is the molecule that is inside of that drink. If you get beer and you remove the molecule of alcohol, it remains non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
If you remove it from wine, it remains.
Oh, that's why Nile Breweries is able to get another drink that they say are non-alcoholic, and then this one. And
Yes,
even the
there is-
percentages are different.
Our drink here is non-alcoholic,
Yeah.
but if I put in it
Alcohol.
becomes
Alcohol.
alcohol. So the molecule alcohol itself is what brings the problem. It's what causes the intoxication.
Okay.
And that molecule, it's like water is a molecule, H2O.
Yeah.
Alcohol is a molecule, C2H5OH. It has 5 hydrogen atoms and a hydroxyl
Those
with 2
things of
carbon
science.
atoms.
In physics.
No,
Chemistry.
chemistry.
Chemistry. It's chemistry.
I remember.
Do you know the purpose of that atom, of that
I
molecule?
don't even still remember, but I did PCB stroke submat, so
It's supposed to burn and give off energy, ethanol.
So that's
So-
the energy you feel after drinking, the excitement.
No, when you put it in the car, it burns and the car is able to move. That's what gives it the. So what you find in petrol, what you find in diesel, what you find in waraji, what you find in champagne, what you find in singleton. I'm sorry if you have sponsors, they will.
no, we
They'll
don't
tell
have
you to
any
delete.
sponsor.
What you find in the crudest waraji
Wow.
and the best champagne is the same molecule.
It's the same.
And therefore it does the same job. Let me ask, I'll give you an experiment. If you stay with someone who has drunk wine, go in the toilet after them and then go after a person who has drunk crude waraji the next morning in the toilet. Will you smell something different or you'll get the same smell?
You get the same, even beer.
Same.
You get the same. You get the same.
You see, even what comes off their skin, because alcohol is being expelled, it is the same smell. So it is the same alcohol in different mixes. So they make some look safer than others, more decent than others, better than others. But alcohol does the same thing. It is like saying Panadol is there to stop your headache, not stop your stomach pain.
Just
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that
So-
is headaches.
Yeah, so it stops certain kinds of pain.
Yes.
It doesn't stop other kinds of pain.
No, it doesn't.
So Panadol does its job.
yeah.
Alcohol is the same thing. It does its job to depress the whole body.
Is there a moment where you, like during your youthful years, where you said, I should stop, and then found yourself drinking again?
Yes.
When was that? When you performed
Um,
poorly, or when?
No, I started when I was in university. That is when I started realizing that I need to stop. And I wasn't in Uganda at the time.
Okay.
I had gone to Germany and they had sent me back because I couldn't handle my drinking. Yet they had sent me there so that I can reform. But 3 days, I didn't speak the language, I didn't know the place, but in 3 days I had found people to hang out with. We know each other.
somehow you do.
You can, by the way, I don't know how they get to know each other.
Yes. And so I tried to control myself, but I found I was not being able to control myself. Even when I would start by saying, today I am not going to.
Drinking.
I thought it was the liquors, so I said, let me drink beer. But I would drink beer and end up drinking liquor. You see? So the change in environment from here did not help. Trying to control myself on what I'm drinking did not work. And so at the end of it, I started realizing that I must stop on my own.
So no one
But
pushed you.
now, no, that's what happened. But now I tried to stop, even wanting to stop, and I couldn't stop.
True.
So it had overpowered you.
That is what Chameleon Sun is talking about.
Oh.
He wants to stop, but he cannot.
stop.
And you see, it's difficult for you to. It's difficult. I cannot start telling people that I want to stop. It is. I could tell a few people. It's our secret. Or, if you, an expert like me, can tell someone who wants to stop, they will wake up they'll wake up one day, they've had such a bad night, and they'll say, I'll never drink again. If you ever hear that from anybody, they are already, it's in their mind that I don't need this. When the body starts feeling fine, then they start rationalizing and say, maybe it's because I drank too much, maybe it's because I was stressed, maybe it was because of this. And so, because they're not feeling the effect, so then they decide to drink again. But the mere fact that they've mentioned, I will never drink again,
That means they
it's there.
Okay. So what are those bad things you did? Because you said you had a lot of bad things. I don't know where they are. I know there are some rowdy behaviors.
Of course, when I was sober, I was like a kitten. Lovable.
Yeah. The sweet thing.
Sweet, yes. You know? But when I would drink, it was like the exact opposite. I wanted to walk on tables. I thought I was very important. My mom's job became my own. Her money was mine. Yes. Do you know who I am? Is the question I would ask. You enter a place now like we are here. Everybody on the house, whether you have money or not. Yes. And you see, you don't even think about what's coming next. When they come with a bill, I'll tell you one time they came with a bill. I told you my mother was signing on the money.
On the money, yes.
So one time the waitress came to me and said, but because I had paid for the first round, it was a place called Jacobo's here in Ntindat.
Yes,
We're
it's
Tuskegee.
still there.
There are now
It's not-
malls there.
Yes.
So when she came, I said, how much is it? So she brought, she told me, I said, bring a paper. So she brought the paper, and then I told her to write how much I am putting, I'm to pay. I had learned how to sign my
Sign.
mother's signature, the one on the money.
Eh.
So I signed on it, I said, now that's money, take.
You signed on the paper?
And you know, with the crowd you guys have, I know what's going to happen. Spoiled kid. But I would do things like those, you see. And
Then your parents would come and pay the bills.
yes, that was where now my mother would go wrong. Of course, she didn't know. People don't know. And they do it all the time. You leave dates, the family members come and
Yes.
clear them. I think that is what we call enabling.
Remembering a child.
Yes. So every problem you'd cause, when I was in Germany, I stole the car. My uncle was an ambassador. I stole the car. I drove. Of course, you drive normally when you're sober. Now I came back drunk. And I scraped the whole street of cars.
Oh my.
Now, because I was under diplomatic custody, they sorted their things out. But some of those were like the reasons as to why they decided, go back home. You might do something more outrageous here.
Yeah.
So if
That
you want to
means
call
you
them
must have
bad
felt
things,
bad,
yeah.
but then afterwards you would think, but then what would happen?
No. You have made a mistake. You're feeling shameful about it. There's a lot of guilt.
Yes.
And when you drink, the guilt goes. So what do you think you do? You look for a drink.
Oh.
And you have this tendency, people think that when you're worried, alcohol can take away all your worries.
Does it take away all
It
the
does
worries?
when you're high.
But you find your the same problems even bigger when you.
Of course. But you see, people misunderstand one thing about alcohol. The person who is not drinking will tell you, can't you see how it's destroying your life? But you whom they are telling, you want to tell them, but can't you see how it is helping my life? Drinking becomes a solution. It is not a problem to the drinker. It is a problem to you. Because for me, if somebody could offer to make me stay high for the rest of my life, they would have done me a favor. That as soon as I wake up, I put a drip and I just continue.
And you stay high. Right?
Yes.
Because you never had problems. So which problems
no-
do you?
Alcohol, it prevents the brain from thinking.
That's what it's, man. It's the devil itself. Can you imagine?
Yes.
So then, how does the family help? Because now let's look at Chameleon will forgive us. How does
He's
the
your friend, I don't know you.
Yes, yeah, he is. I'm a huge fan. That's
Yes,
why
and
really,
I am a fan of his.
and
In
that's
fact,
why I
was-
got concerned.
Yes. I hope I'll get a chance to talk to him after this. You tell him, we talk, we just have friendly conversation because we do get better. We do cross over. Yes.
Because
Sorry for interrupting you.
No. I was just saying that one of the things that the son said, they were blaming the friends around him. Why didn't they stop him?
Now, unfortunately, the friends don't know what to do. This is your boss. This is the money maker. This is the connection to the next level of my life. Where do I start from? So they have no knowledge about the problem. And so if he says, get me a drink, even if he hasn't got even if he doesn't have money, they'll run and look for it. Because they want the boss to remain happy. When the boss is not high, probably he's a little bit low and everything, they don't like him the way he is. So they know, he needs something. I see. So it's difficult when it's someone who is the breadwinner. You cannot attack them. If they are functional, it is difficult to do anything about them. If they are dysfunctional like I was not able to hold a job, I was not able to present myself in public, I was not able to do anything, and therefore I would always lose. If I had money, I would lose it. If I had a job, I would lose it. If I had friends, I was losing them. So now they could force me to get help because I was dysfunctional. When you are functional, nobody wants to offend you.
Yeah, true. Very true.
And you will find that even an alcoholic that you know drinks and the doctor has said don't drink, why is it that when they come to visit you, you have kept for them a special bottle? And this is for Uncle so and so.
Yeah.
Yet you know
They're not supposed
they are
to be
not supposed to be drinking.
drinking.
So it is the lack of knowledge about the problem, about what alcohol is, that makes people continue to develop for the problem to get worse. You see. So now, alcoholism, or let's say the addiction, is characterized by 4 things: cravings,
Right.
Are they
the
the
desire.
turkeys?
No,
Those ones are different.
cravings is when you just desire to drink. It's like when you're thirsty.
Good example.
Yes.
Yeah, like this one.
It's like
Craving
that
all
one.
the time.
It's Coca-Cola. They
All
might
the
think
time.
it's
I might
something
think-
else.
No, they may think it's a booze.
Yes.
Okay.
Craze for Coca-Cola. Yeah.
Yes.
That urge.
So there are cravings. Then there is a compulsion.
Okay.
A compulsion, you want to do it again and again despite negative consequences that had. So there are consequences, but when the cravings come,
Yes.
you continue to compulsively use. You see? And some people play around with the word addiction. They say, oh, my addiction is music. My addiction. You cannot have an addiction if it doesn't have a negative impact on you.
So I should wait for the negative impact to say I'm addicted.
The negative is, what is the sugar doing to you? You might not see it, but have you had a doctor's report telling you?
I do tests and then they're like, reduce,
Uh-huh.
reduce.
So, and you continue.
That's the thing. Compulsion.
I was, I was one that you like stopping people. If we check in the other side, you go and tell those people, don't drink. You know what? You know how much alcohol is in
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So
the
Ben, I want to ask. There's an article that Bina shared to me. She sent it to me
Yes.
on my WhatsApp while we were looking for you, and I saw the headline, and it has happened in many marriages. You said alcohol almost ruined your marriage. So I want to find out about your love life, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
How you met your woman? Did you meet him?
I suspect in a bar.
Everybody.
Was she also drinking? Like, I don't understand. And then the point of where she's like, no, I'm done, because you said almost lost my family.
Yes. Interesting that there was a time when I think everyone I knew, probably even family members, let me not condemn them, thought that the lady I would end up with is someone I pick from the bar, or a slayer.
Exactly.
That's what I was also going to say.
Yes, but I picked the
Or
opposite.
somebody you got pregnant when you were drunk, and then you're like,
fine, let's
because my
proceed.
dad and then my mom. No, let me just marry this one.
Interestingly, even in my drinking, I could not stand being with a woman who was a drunk or who would drink.
Hey,
So you didn't want a woman who
No,
drink?
because I would only notice women when I'm sober. When I was drunk, I didn't care who you are.
Okay.
When I am sober, I
That's when
care
you-
whom I'm dealing with.
So when you're drunk, you care about other people to be happy. I'm in charge.
Yes.
Guys, this is me. Oh, I
Yes.
understand.
Exactly. So even when I met her,
yes,
right?
Yes.
She was working in an office where I used to go. No, it was a floor below the office I used to go to almost on a daily.
Yes.
And every day I would pass by, I would see her there. I'm like, if you've seen the pictures, I'm sure you'll agree. Anyone would look. So
Yeah.
one day she was outside of the office and she said hi when I was passing.
She said hi.
I never used to say anything. I used to fear.
But you see her, you're like,
Yes. And so when she said hi, that was my entry point. Because I was a shy person by nature. And I will tell you that one of the reasons that kept me using alcohol was because it helped my shyness.
okay.
Remember the first time I told you that I was able
Yes.
to have kabozi with all these?
All your friends, and then you're the, you
Uh-huh.
got badges.
Yes, and I would give them good KB by the way. So it made me feel better. So I could only talk to them. Now at the time I met her, I had stopped.
Hey,
I had stopped.
you had stopped.
Yes. My story is a very, very long one, by the way.
And we also have all
You
the
have
time.
all the time.
want
It's
2
going to
hours.
get dark. So,
Your story.
okay. So, by the time I met her, that means I'll rewind after.
Yes.
By the time I met her, I was sober. I had been sober for quite a while because I had been taken into rehabilitation a few years earlier.
It was that bad. You even went to rehab.
Why do people think it's that bad when you're in rehab?
Yeah, because they tell us what is that. By the time you go there, that means that's the last hope. Like everyone is like, no, I think it's either rehab or death. So you choose.
You see, that is the misconception we have now.
Really?
Because it's like saying that when someone is taken into hospital, that is when they're about to die. Do you go to hospital when you're about to die?
No.
But you feel malaria, you say.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I go to hospital so that I can get better. And I now get
So why is it different with rehab? And that is where people go wrong. They wait for you to reach critical condition.
Yeah, and they're like,
You have malaria,
Rehab.
you're sweating, you're hot, you don't have appetite. They say you're not going to hospital because hospital is for people who are going to die.
yeah. True.
And so by the time they take you to rehab, you have become, your condition is so bad. In fact, usually it's when they see psychosis, when they see people are beginning to run mad, lack of
Yeah, true,
coordination.
true,
Yes.
true.
Now, how do you expect the treatment to be easier when you've reached that level?
It's harder.
Or at the stage where you start seeing the noticeable problems.
But even
You drink in the
hearing.
morning, you drink too much,
Yeah.
you can't stop when you start. I forgot to tell you the fourth characteristic of addiction, which is control. You lose control. Whenever you start drinking, you lose the ability to control your drinking or yourself or your emotions. You see? So that is where it is, and that is how people think. That is the stigma. Stigma is what causes that.
Oh, yes.
So now going to rehab has become so much taboo that people are like, no, by the time they take you there, you are close to madness.
Trust me, me knowing that somebody has gone to rehab, instead of bringing them close, I'm like, okay.
Yes. Now let me ask you. I have a master's in international relations. How come I would come and drink and fall on the table, even pee on myself, the master's?
Pee on yourself. Jesus.
Have I told you too much? That is true. That is
I
just,
understand.
we see that every day.
Every day, yes.
know,
Even
yeah,
they
drunkards do
carry,
that.
Yes.
they even carry drunkards to their homes.
Yes, you can't walk, you can't talk, you're having conflicts with everybody. How come I had a master's degree and I was doing that? Okay, now let me give you the scenario as to why I've given you that example. When I went into rehab for
Yes.
3 months, when I came out, I wasn't doing the same thing.
You weren't doing the same thing.
Yes, I couldn't go to a bar and black out.
You formed a bit, okay.
So you tell me what helped me, the master's degree or the rehabilitation center?
Rehab. But that word,
Rehabilitation center.
Stigma.
stigma. Yes.
I went to rehab and I tell people I am more proud of
Trust me. Trust me, somebody, when you talk about rehab,
No, because you've seen the worst, like...
it's like as if you're about a death sentence.
I know.
Yet people
I am
can come out.
proud. I always say it. In fact, I think it should be my status. Proudly
Proud.
from proudly rehabilitated.
Ah,
There is nothing that I am more proud of, because when I went in, I didn't even understand what was wrong with me. I didn't even understand that I had a disease. I didn't understand that there are many people like that. I didn't understand that there is stigma against it. I didn't understand that I'm vulnerable and that my children are also vulnerable and I should be prepared to manage that situation. I didn't understand so much. I didn't understand that I had gone through patterns of behavioral change that made me the person I was. I didn't understand why I was depressed, why I was anxious, why I was angry, why I was a manipulator, why I was, name it.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything that you say a drunk or an alcoholic or a drug addict does. I didn't understand why I was all those things. So I thought I was a bad person. But I didn't understand when they are saying I'm a bad person, that's when I was happy, when I was drunk.
when you're drunk.
When I am sober is
Then
when
they
I
start
was
lecturing
miserable.
you. And that's when we lecture nuruga hamarwa.
Yes.
Amaraga za kushisha.
Aha. I didn't know you speak my language.
I'm a Michiga.
She's a Mchiga.
We are both Michigas.
You I knew because
Yes,
someone was asking you. I don't even think you saw that comment many years ago. That but you are Muchiga always speaking Luganda.
yeah, I'm a Mchiga. Because I
Yes.
grew up from this side.
Okay. So yeah. So you see, people, because of the lack of understanding, I keep trying to encourage people to understand alcohol. Then you will think about it differently. They are going to solve so many problems or get rid of so many problems that they don't. Because when you have an issue with alcohol, they'll say you can't handle your liquor.
I can't handle what?
You can't handle your liquor.
Yes.
But can you control the changes that are happening inside your brain?
Yes, I can.
When you're high, that's not possible.
Okay, if a mosquito bites you and places inside you
I can't.
the what is it called?
Forgot about
The parasite. You have a scientist here. When it puts inside you the parasite, how can you control it?
No, you can't.
If you haven't felt any changes, it will continue multiplying.
Yes.
Then when they start becoming evident, you become hot, headache, you start feeling irritable. Then maybe you have malaria. Your temperature is high.
Yes.
You see? So many people have ingested the drink and it's normal, right? But then they don't know what it's doing to them inside. So then when the symptoms start coming out, you start drinking for longer,
Yeah.
you start failing to control yourself, you start drinking more even when you have consequences that are negative. You now start drinking in the morning, you're drinking to take away depression, you're drinking to make yourself be able to interact with people.
Yeah.
People don't see them as symptoms, they just say this person is changing or this person is becoming irresponsible. But those are signs and symptoms, and that is when the checks and balances are supposed to come in and say, hey, you're going overboard.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to go and see a therapist to find out if there is any progression.
I get it.
I see. And then, like you'd say, I'm not feeling fine, let me go and do a blood test. People should be going to rehabilitation centers, to counselors, just like they go to the clinics and to the pharmacies.
So you're sending people to a shrink.
If you call us shrinks, yes.
Sorry.
But
Like
yes.
in Uganda here, people say like, the counselors, like that is money wasted.
Exactly. The same
But
thing.
Is it true?
You see, the problem is when you hear some funny sound in your car, is it wasting money to go and check with the mechanic?
No.
But when it comes to your human body,
it
which
is.
is even more complex, then all of a sudden, you feel that now it is.
And I feel that
I get what you're saying.
okay, then you wait for it to worsen and then you go to a
So,
hospital.
yes.
Or at
all
times
these-
when you feel like a headache, instead of finding out why you have that constant headache, you try pharmacies.
Exactly.
Then when it's so serious,
Yes.
you
And
go to a
people
hospital.
don't
That's how also
understand.
rehab is.
No, yeah, rehab is because you go there and then they'll see what you need. Now, like I work, I'm allowed to mention my workplace. I work with Safe Places, which has got a rehabilitation center.
Yeah,
Safe
Safe
Places,
Places,
Uganda.
yes.
It's also in Chambogo, near your home. So there we have an outpatient center where people come and then an assessment is made. And after that assessment, they tell you what you need to do about your condition. You see? Now,
So being an alcoholic is also a disease.
but do you really want me to go into alcohol? For your show?
Hey, what?
Alcohol
Yeah.
is the most dangerous of the psychoactive substances, or let's call them drugs,
Yeah.
to self and to others. It is, let me say, 20 points more dangerous than crack cocaine, which is the second most dangerous, heroin,
What?
ice,
Oh, yeah.
methamphetamines, amphetamines. It is the most dangerous to self and to others. Because I will tell you, one of the only drugs that a person will take and you see them staggering is alcohol.
Yeah,
Ask
true,
people who take weed if they'll ever see someone staggering. And that is because alcohol, I'm not promoting other drugs, okay? But people don't understand how difficult the alcohol problem is. Alcohol is behavioral. It takes a long time to
Yeah.
to become visible. Then it is socially accepted, and therefore, because it's socially accepted, people believe that they do not want alcohol to be blamed. I think. But alcohol has this thing whereby it will affect even those who are not drinking. 2 days ago on my TikTok, I think even on Facebook, there was a lady who responded to a story which I had put about somebody who was a lady who the husband came, he was drunk, he asked her why she hasn't cooked. She said, "Did you want me to put in a blanket and cook it?" So he beat her and she left and went away. So her response was, for me, I was even sleeping. The guy came and stepped me in the face, and now we are divorced. You see? So it affects even those who have not partaken of it. A drunk driver is driving and they meet you on the way.
And then they know.
And do you know there are more drunk drivers during the day than
Oh,
at
yeah.
night?
During the day?
than at night.
I thought they are always in the wee hours of the night.
No, because people drink until 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Those are the heavy drinkers.
And then at 7 they start.
Going to work.
Wait, hey, by the way, I hear that those even don't. Who don't
They
come
even
back
don't.
home.
I was one of them. You go straight to wherever your
Hey,
operation
I was
is.
told
Uh-huh.
you go with your clothes,
Yes,
change from the bathroom, 7 a.m. work.
yes. Now
Wow.
I will start with the longest. Alcohol lingers in the brain for about 8 days. So if you drink once a week, there's always alcohol in your brain.
For 8 days.
8 days.
Jesus.
Everything I'm saying, please Google so that you don't say this man
No,
broke.
no. I know.
Days.
In the brain, in the body, it depends on how much you've taken.
Okay.
Now, alcohol is removed by the liver from the body. Do you know in what quantities? Only 1 shot of liquor can be removed per hour.
Per hour.
One
So
shot
if
of
you-
liquor.
1 shot of 40%. So that means these people who drink muzinga or half, how long does it take to get out of the blood system?
Not even a decade.
Now you have finished drinking at 4 in the morning. Then people who drink consistently, usually the liver is not functioning
Yeah.
properly. Therefore,
Yes.
it takes longer because it is compromised. So you have gone to sleep at 4 a.m. If they check your blood alcohol content at 4 p.m.,
Yeah.
only per hour you're removing only what? How much blood do you think how much alcohol do they find in the blood? That's why Kawunyamo does blood alcohol content. How much alcohol is in the blood? The same way they check alcohol content in whiskey is 40%. That's why people say you have a lot of blood in your alcohol.
A lot of
Blood.
alcohol.
No, blood in your
Blood in your
alcohol.
alcohol.
Hey, yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now, if you notice,
That is scary.
like on these shows they have
But
on
how come they
DSTV,
stay sharp? You know, like they are very brilliant.
alcohol does not
Even the
reduce your
medi-
intelligence.
Even the medical doctors, you see a medical doctor staggering but will do surgery.
No, alcohol does not reduce your intelligence. It only, what do you call it? It only blocks the inhibitions. You know inhibitions?
No.
That kind of thing that tells you, no, you're not, this is not going to work out well. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't say this. Now the inhibitions are in the front part of the brain.
Very
So when you
subconscious
receive
lens, yeah.
information, it sends it to the frontal lobe to decide, should I do this, should I
I
say
not?
this? So what it does is it blocks the connection between where the brain receives to the part of inhibitions. And then it goes, because it's blocked, straight to the action part, which is I don't want to go into too much science, but the amygdala in the brain. And therefore, you see, you respond. You see, you respond. When you're sober, you see, you think, you decide, you respond.
Oh, okay, I get the point. So with alcohol, deciding is an option actually.
Yes. No, there is no option. You
There's no
just
option, so you
respond
just contemplate,
as
be
you
like,
feel.
Should I, should I, no, should I, should I?
No, those ones when I think when you're drunk.
When you're sober,
No, when you're sober,
you
have
question.
a choice. Yes,
when you're drunk,
no choice.
you just do. So if I sat with you and I said, I will not say anything, let me keep my things to myself, whatever I'm feeling, right? When if this juice was 40%, by the time I'm halfway,
You will say something.
then I start saying,
I get
because there is no communication. that-
Yes.
and even if a person is drunk, you'll be like, even if my wife is watching, it's okay. You start to, so that is what it does. And people think alcohol is a stimulant, yet it's a depressant.
Really? They keep telling us it ignites your system, your body.
Can a cigarette
Even on
lighter
a
cook
wedding
food?
day they say, take a sip. You
Can a cigarette lighter cook food?
No, of course it can't.
no a cigarette lighter.
It
Oh
can't.
yeah.
But it lights fire.
Yes, it does.
But can you cook food with it?
No, you can't.
It just sets off the fire.
Yes.
That's its purpose.
Yes.
Now, with alcohol, it kicks you off. It gives you,
That
it
jump
kicks off,
starts.
that excitement. Are you seeing? Then afterwards, let me explain the depression. If I sat down here and I drank a bottle full of 40% liquor, every after I put in a glass, how am I? Am I becoming stronger or weaker?
You're becoming weaker, I think.
Become,
Weaker
You're
because
becoming-
you start staggering.
You start staggering, you can't see well,
Then even your
your
tongue.
slurred speech,
Yes.
poor vision, everything
Yes.
becomes nice, or you're seeing four people.
How come other people are able to drive when they are drunk, and then they even find their home?
You know, everything you're asking has got very serious answers, but I can't now throw all in. How are they able to drive? Usually a person, the more drunk they are, the more they will concentrate on direction, on places they know.
Oh.
Because the new information is not easy to remember, and the old information is very easy to remember. People usually say you can find your way home with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
That is because you've repeatedly, from here you're going home, from
Yes.
work home, every day home.
Yeah.
So when all the other directions are diminished, home is the last one that remains. So no matter how drunk you are, some people are able to sit in the car and just to go home. But if you see the way they're driving, they're surviving. They're surviving accidents, knocking people, jumping
By
out
God's
of the
grace.
way. By God's grace. But for them, they are convinced, I drive better when I am.
When I'm drunk.
So why are
and
you
when
being
tell-
arrested?
And when you tell them olya musinzi niwo wagungulira,
Aha.
they don't want to be told that you're a
Exactly.
drunkard.
So the depressive effect is like this. The more I drink, the more I disconnect
Googler.
my legs from my brain. The brain is the one which connects your,
Connects, yes.
which yes, it's the one which determines. If I tell you to lift your legs, sorry, you will send the information to your leg to lift it.
To lift, yes.
Yes. But now you think in your head, I need to lift my leg, and then the connection between the brain and the legs, the muscles, has decreased because it is being blocked by alcohol.
So that's why the staggering starts from.
So now you fail to even lift your leg.
Lift. Eh.
It's not that you're tired. So there's disconnection between the brain and the legs, the brain and the hands, the brain and the tongue, so you get slurred speech, the brain and the eyes, so you can't see effectively, the brain and the ears. The more you drink, the louder the volume of the part.
True. They are loud. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Museveni said they're danger to themselves.
Then there are those who
They
even
spit on each other.
speak better English when they're drunk.
Aha.
Yes.
Speak better English.
You see?
Confidence.
We have Sengana Ntume. She says, if you want to hear my English,
Eh, give
just
me
give
some.
give me some tot. And then she will speak English.
But that gives them, it is that false confidence of inhibitions.
Okay.
Should I say this? Should I not? So you can say anything.
And then when we see musicians, we also see presenters. They say they can't do what? We used to have a presenter who would say, I want to first sip. Then also musicians, when they come on stage, they also want to first sip before they do it.
Yes, because it works. You know, we can't sit here and pretend and hide that it doesn't work. It works. It is what happens after that is the problem.
That's the effects, the after effects.
And when you get used to using alcohol to make it work, then you'll not be able to use your natural abilities to make it work.
Okay. So the love life situation.
How did we divert from that one by then?
Alcohol.
It's her who
Okay.
diverted you.
So,
She's
How
the one who
you
diverted
met,
you.
You were sober.
yes, I was sober. I was going to church. I used to go to a nice church here called Kampala Pentecostal Church. It is now by a different name. And that was my Sunday program. So apparently she lived within the area and she used to go to a church which was below where you were turning off. There was another church down there. So she would see me passing to go there.
Oh, okay.
So meeting there was like, what do you call it? Confirmation that maybe, you know.
One day.
So
Well,
I said hello. She responded well. And I didn't let it slide because when I went up to get whatever I was getting from that office, I came back down and
You
I
started
found
praying
something
from
to
this
say.
way.
No, it was in the office still. I never changed my church by neither
okay.
did she until we got married. So that is how the conversation started. Our first dinner date was where the office people eat from. Yes, but I knew in my heart that I had found
She's the one.
the right person.
Yeah,
Here
that's
they
what
are.
us men know.
Yes, this one. Even
then-
if what? So, no, you wanted to ask something.
Then did you slide?
No, then things went well. We got married.
So how
We
long
got
did
a
you date for?
daughter. About 2 years.
And you were sober for those 2
When
years.
I was sober for about 6, 7.
Wow.
Yes. And so what happened was, we liked each other, we got married, we got
Yeah.
a child. And
the wedding
then
day, what did you drink?
I
You sipped
started.
juice.
I'm getting there. I started a business. I was doing. No, I already started it. I was doing filming and graphics. It was going well. I started meeting some celebs here and there.
Yeah.
Yes, I started getting into life. I was selling timber, a couple of
famous.
things.
Okay.
But then, after getting married, I started now feeling the desire to, you start thinking ahead. And now children, now I have to, now I want to be rich.
Pressure.
Yeah.
So now I started connecting with the people who have made money. There's that thing of being mentored.
I know.
Yes.
Aha.
Yeah.
So I started meeting the right people and they are there. I
Yeah.
mean, my brother is a musician, so he knows some from that side. And I started doing documentaries, so I started meeting some other very big people.
Yeah.
And then a number of them that I meet, one of them was a neighbor, owned a big hotel. And he told me, he's like, you can change this place into, it was my father's, our family home. You can change this place into, in Kabale. You can change this place into a hotel. I mean, you have a very big, it was a very big compound. And so he told me, didn't you see how I started? I had to put like a small structure. I started a bar. It made money. Now you see, that's how it starts. So the big idea came. And I said, I am going to build a hotel.
Let me transform this place.
So I started transforming the place.
Yes.
Now, when we reached a certain point, some friends I had made came to visit me. And they found, this is wonderful, because a hotel was what is in mind.
Yeah.
They come to visit. When they see the reception, this is a bar. My friend, what are you waiting for?
Yes.
Just add some wood here for display. Put stools here, and we come and start giving you
Support.
money.
And you remember your focus was making money.
Hey. So I'm like, very good
And
idea.
you were
After
sober
all,
for 6 years.
yes.
Yeah.
You see, we are attentive.
Yeah. After all, I don't even drink.
So you started encouraging people to drink. Okay.
So I said, fine, let me try it and see. And on the 13th of June, 2010, I opened a bar in the reception of the
home.
Of the hotel to
of the
be.
hotel. Of the hotel to be.
When my mother heard it, she was very fast. She looked for me, Bill. You are forgetting where you came from.
Right?
I'm like, no, I don't drink.
And you know mother's instinct, yeah.
My brothers. Then my friend with whom I had been with in rehab, he came to visit me and he says, Bill, I also told him, you guys are doubters, you see, we have to grow. He says, okay.
Okay, you had
6
already
months
started.
later, it was running well. Actually, it was a good idea to start it during that time. Because World Cup, all you have to do is put a nice TV, people want a new
yeah.
place. So
Then Kabale.
it was the only bar which
Or
had got
Bekunda.
fireplace. Things had it. They would call by my father's name. And he was also well known there.
Oh, okay.
So when the thing caught fire, if I may call it that, in 1 December, a friend of mine came and closed the bar and he bought the whole place and this free beers on the house. He was paying in dollars. Then he bought 2 muzingas of Black Label and said, Konka,
Yes.
you can't be my host. Egichupo tagitere mpisha.
Yama
And you away,
Eh,
close the whole bar.
yes. He closed the bar and even allowed people to come and buy if they want. It's up to
Do
you.
you know?
He said, Ogitere mpisha. I'm like, but everyone knows I don't drink.
I know.
Don't tell me those things.
tinkalekera okunywa.
So I also got a bright idea in my head. I said, let me just take one shot with this guy, just one. I'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
So I got it myself. I opened.
in?
Doop, 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 doop. You know, it comes slowly.
I know.
For him, for myself, I said, don't I drink like Russians? I studied in Russia by my
Yes, I
university.
just-
Ah,
I know.
Kashuma.
the other thing of senior 2 came back.
Points.
Yes, I was like, what? I have been
It
missing
banned
this thing. There was no band this time, it was just pleasure.
Like, I've been missing
Yes.
so coward
Uh-huh.
again. Oh, Lord.
No, I didn't. I said, now I'm done.
I'm done. Oh.
He's like, Kawa, thanks for the respect, man. Which we continued. So he went to join, he continued with others. I went in the store and got my own Black Label and put it aside. So I would go inside, I pour, I take,
Come back.
come back. I didn't think people were noticing, but of course they were noticing.
They were noticing, oh dear.
Are you disappointed?
That's how you started relapsing.
That's
So
not
in my
how
mind,
it's
I'm like,
the first sip is the relapse. So that night now I got blazed, and now even the new stock I sent for, I gave it out. 3 days I was drunk. I woke up, major hangover. What? I'm like, I kicked off again. 2
Yes,
weeks
because
later.
they say, Mbuno, when you drink, when you have a hangover,
yeah,
put
you
more.
wake up, you're feeling bad, whatever.
so you drink more.
3 months down the line, I hadn't paid electricity bills, I hadn't paid water, I
Don't
hadn't.
tell me you closed.
My stock was being sold. I don't know. Like I told you, I was a dysfunctional alcoholic. Functional ones would continue,
Yes.
while the difference between a functional one is that they are killing their body, while the dysfunctional ones are killing their reputation. If that's the easier way to.
Oh.
So it's easier for a dysfunctional one to get help than it is for a functional one too. Because no one is seeing what's happening inside your body
No,
until the doctor says, "Oh my God." That's why
the
you find
liver is gone.
many people are dying of strange disease. They don't know. They went to hospital for 1 day. But when you go back and ask, do they drink? They'll tell you, quite a bit. You see? So, everything went. I had machines. I remember even how I met Bush Baby. You know.
I worked with him.
Yes.
On
And you might
radio.
be very young, and for us we are young. Sorry.
Yes.
But he brought East African TV to do their editing, because at that time I was the only one who had got.
So you were doing it at your place?
Yes.
Okay.
Even some of the shots they would do in our compound.
You know?
You know, I felt I'd reached a certain level. I started selling my equipment. Some were stolen by my workers. But I remember I sold a very good Panasonic video camera I had for 2 million shillings. It was for $10K.
oh,
Yes.
look at the cameraman like,
Hey,
really?
do you drink? Good for you. Today you are going to stop. But that is how bad it is, that everything started going. Some were just taken. I couldn't follow up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I lost all my equipment. It went with some people's wedding footage. There's one friend of mine by there whose wedding, I hope he never sees this. Many people my age don't watch much of this. But his wedding disappeared also. And it was fully filmed and everything, but when
That's what
they had things
disadvantage,
had
so they
going
don't
here
have
and there.
memories.
No, they have gathered
Gathered,
left,
yeah.
right, and center, but still the real thing was, and it was well done.
Yeah.
You see, those are the mistakes that come with using
Dysfunctional?
a dysfunctional
Yes.
person. You know, a functional person might even be able to do it better.
Yeah, true.
I see. And
yes.
therefore they would even encourage you and say, we are losing money, you drink a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't sing, you first put in. You can't rap, you can't be creative. But the thing is this, because the brain has gotten so used to using alcohol to give you that kick or another drug, it is not the alcohol or the drug that makes you creative or makes you do that. You have just used it as the base
Okay.
So
to
somebody
motivate
can
you.
even, so somebody can still be creative without it.
Not still be, they will be more.
Creative.
I am more effective sober,
Oh.
but because at a certain time I couldn't be, because I needed alcohol, even just for my mood. So the brain has to get used to doing it on its own. Let me tell you how the brain works. The brain works in response to senses. We have 5 senses.
5 senses.
Sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. Right? So when I hear something, I respond to it. I hear, it goes to the brain. Okay, I see something nice. It goes to the brain. It interprets as something nice. I feel good. I hear a good sound. That is hearing. It goes to my brain. It's interpreted. So when
you
it
start
triggers
dancing.
the release of dopamine, serotonin, all those chemicals. I see.
The happy hormones.
The happy hormones.
Hormones, yes.
Now, the brain, because it's such an easy response for the brain when you drink, the drink causes the trigger of the dopamine without needing to hear any sound, without needing to see anything nice. All I need to do is come, even if I close my eyes and I start drinking waraji here, I start releasing dopamine. But if I sit here alone without a drink, I have to see either something nice, smell something nice,
Or hear something.
taste or hear something nice,
nice.
for the dopamine to be.
Oh. Wow. Now, taking you back to the love life.
Yes.
What did you explain to your wife?
Yeah?
Because he talked about 3 months relapse. Okay, not
Yes.
relapsing. Okay, yeah.
Now, by that time we had
Everything
been married.
was
I got married in 2009. This is 2011.